Welcome to the Perfecta Q36 training. We're so excited that you invested in this product. The Perfecta Q36 is a multi-function printer that allows you to engage every learner by bringing posters and banners to your hallways and classrooms. Today we're going to go over some of the basic setup needs to begin using your printer and also cover some of the key features in a part 2 video. So look for that as well on our VariQuest Resource Center. But first, let's take a step back. You should have already received your printer. If you have not set it up yet, you'll find that there's an assembly guide contained in the box of the printer. This assembly guide will walk you through step by step how to assemble the stand and the printer. There's also a handy QR code in the setup guide that you can scan and get directly to the video that will walk you through, again, how to assemble the printer. So that is handy. Also on the outside of the packaging, you'll see some QR codes. So there's plenty of resources available to help you assemble the printer onto the stand. As you can see, we've already done that for you. Also in the printer, you're going to find a quick start guide. This quick start guide will give you just a quick jump start on using, again, the key features like our scan to print with the fully integrated 36-inch scanner, or how to print from the USB, and how to connect your printer to the Design Center. Now, some of you may have also purchased our Design Center included with our Design Center software. There's a video located on our Resource Center that you can go and learn how to use the features of our software. But it's packed with thousands of educationally aligned templates and content and graphics that you can begin using your printer immediately with. Also, what came in your printer is a registration card. We highly encourage you to register your product on the VariQuest Resource Center. Again, you can go ahead and scan this QR code and put in either the serial number of the printer or this code that's on the card. And that will give you access to additional training videos, content resources, professional development opportunities, lesson plans, and additional content for your Perfecta and your Design Center software. So again, you'll locate that in the box. Also included with the product is a roll of our 36-inch heavyweight coated paper. This is our most popular paper. It delivers wonderful quality prints. It's our everyday paper, we call it. We have additional media types, and we'll get to those in a little bit when I show you how to load the media in the printer. You'll also have received 5 sheets of sample 13 by 19-inch heavyweight coated paper, and that paper is meant to be used in our multifunction tray that's located on the back of the printer. From the multifunction tray, you can print a 13 by 19 for mini classroom posters or 8.5 by 11 handouts. For example, if you are getting a large visual and you want to provide handouts to your students, you can scan it through the scanner and then output it to the back tray. So again, very multifunction and multi-use. And lastly, I want to talk about a little tag that you'll find in the box of your printer. One of the important things to keep your printer healthy is to make sure it's plugged in all the time and running in standby mode so that it can go through its maintenance cycles. And again, we'll do a section on how to set up your maintenance cycles in a little bit. But what this card will do is give you a little tag that you can affix to the power cord of the printer, just as a reminder to don't unplug the printer. So when your building is going on break, or perhaps over the summer, leave the printer plugged in, have it in its low energy consumption mode, but allow it to run its maintenance cycles. And again, we'll show you how to set that up. So that's everything that comes with the printer. When you first take the printer out of the box, you're going to walk through some initialization screens. Everything is done from your control panel right here. And in a few moments, we'll do a close-up of that panel so you can see some of the screens. But once you turn the printer on, it'll bring you to a welcome screen. You'll select your language, and it'll just easily walk you through each step of the process, including when to load the inks and when to load the media and the paper. So I think what we'll do now is I've already initialized this printer. We're going to go ahead and show you how to load the inks. So included with your printer, you have a full set of Perfecta Q36 inks. The printer takes 4 ink cartridges, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And the ink cartridges are installed on this side of the printer, in this cabinet. And I'll pull one out and show it to you. You can see there are 4 cartridges, and they're very color-coded and easy to insert. What you want to do is make sure that you snug them in there down tight so they click into place. You load the 4 inks, and then you close the cover completely. Next thing we'll show you is how to load the media into your printer. So as I mentioned, the product comes with a 36-inch wide roll of heavyweight coated paper, again our most standard paper. You'll find the paper loading spindle here. The black end goes to the ink side of the printer, and this blue cap comes off. So we'll grab our roll of paper. We're going to go ahead and load it onto the spindle. And we want to make sure that we push the end snug in the spindle. Now, it's the age-old debate about toilet paper, right? But what you want to make sure is that when you load the black end to the ink side, that the paper is coming over the top of the roll. And you'll take your blue end cap and you'll insert it again snugly. So when you set this into the printer, again, you'll see the paper is coming over the top of the roll. So try not to get in your way as I show you this. The next thing we're going to do is take and we're going to feed this paper into the base of the printer. Until you get a catch started, and you're going to roll it in. Until you hear a beep. So I just heard a beep, and you can feel the paper was grabbed and pulled forward. And right now what happens is on my control panel, it sensed that I loaded the paper. And so it says load paper, and it's saying type. And what you'll want to do is make sure the type of paper matches what you've just loaded into the printer. So I'm going to go ahead and change the type of paper. And you'll see different types loaded here. So our heavyweight coated is going to be found under bond and coated papers. And then I'm going to scroll down and I see the heavyweight coated paper selection. And then I hit done. Once that happens, the printer is going to go through and load the paper. It's going to automatically correct the skew. And then it'll tell me when it's ready to print. Now, I'll talk a little bit about some of the other medias that we have available. In addition to our heavyweight coated paper, we offer a bond paper. This is a more economy paper that is used for quick prints that perhaps don't need as high a quality or last as long. They're more for short-term applications. Then you have our VariQuest bond paper. We offer that in both 24 and 36-inch size media. And then, of course, our heavyweight coated, also available in 24 and 36-inch media. And again, both of those roll sizes will fit into the Q36. We offer 2 photo papers, our photo satin and our photo cloths paper, to give real photographic quality, posters and banners. And then we also have a matte polypropylene. A matte polypropylene is a banner material, good for banners. And then we also have some additional medias that we're continuing to add. So I encourage you to jump out to our VariQuest Resource Center and check out the media offerings we have there. We have our 13x19 paper I mentioned earlier. We have a removable fabric adhesive paper coming. So again, different media types depending on the application you want and need for your school. Now it looks like the paper is fully loaded. It says that it's ready, and I'm back in the home position. At this point in time, we're going to pause for just a second. We're going to bring in the camera a little bit closer, and we're going to do a little tour of the control panel here. All right, you can see that we've zoomed in on our control panel. And this is what you'll see as the home screen of the control panel. You'll have your main menu option. your copy button, and that copy is going to be what we use when we do scan to print. And again, part 2 of this video is going to go into an example of how to use that feature. We also have a scan feature, which allows you to use that 36-inch wide scanner and scan to email or scan to a USB file, or basically use it as a giant scanner. Our print button, which is going to allow us to print from a USB, connect right on the port of the printer here. So we'll also go through that functionality in the second part of our video. But what I wanted to do is scroll over to the supplies and the paper section. Under supplies, this is where you can check and see how much ink is left in your printhead cartridges. So this level, you can see we have a full level of all of our inks here. And then if I wanted to change the paper, as you saw, we just loaded our heavyweight coated material. But if I wanted to change the paper, I would come to the paper selection, I would select the roll, and then I can unload the roll, or I can also modify my paper types here. So if I did set my paper incorrectly, I can come and change that here without reloading the roll. You'll also see a tray, and that is for when we are going to load paper into the back tray that I pointed out earlier. So again, those are your paper source areas where you're going to set your paper type and where you have your media loaded to. So I'm going to go back to the main part of the menu, and we're going to go into menu here. And you can see I can access the copy, the scan, and the print button right from there. I'm going to scroll down to settings. And what we're going to do now is set those power settings that I mentioned earlier. Again, you always want to leave this printer plugged in, powered on, and it will automatically go into a sleep and standby mode. So I'll show you real quickly how to set that. Again, this is going to prolong the life of your printhead. It uses very little energy consumption, and it's just going to keep your printer nice and healthy. So you'll find this under General, Energy, and then you're going to want to go into the auto shutdown and make sure that's toggled on, and then go into inactivity shutdown and pick the longest length of time. In this case, it's 4 hours. So that means if the printer has not been used for 4 hours, it'll go into that sleep mode, that low power mode, but it'll also be on in order to turn on its maintenance cycles. So the next thing is we're going to continue scrolling up, and we're going to schedule the printer to turn on every day. That way we know that the printer will wake up, run its maintenance cycles, and again, keep the printer healthy. So we'll schedule the printer on or off. We'll make sure that's toggled on. Then we're going to set the day, and I've picked every day of the week, Sunday through Saturday. At 6:01 a.m. Every day, the printer will automatically turn on. So then I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then I just leave the turn off schedule because, again, I don't necessarily ever want it to turn off, but you, of course, could set that if you'd like and then have it wake each day. But in this case, if it goes into that standby and that sleep mode, it'll wake itself up each day in order to run that maintenance cycle. And since we're zoomed in here, we're going to talk a little bit about how to connect your printer to your design center in order to print from the VariQuest software. And where you're going to find that is if you go under Menu and Info, and then we're going to go to Connectivity. So in the Quick Start Guide, it'll walk you through the number of ways that you can connect your printer to your PC or to the Design Center or to your school's network. This printer is wonderful in that it has what's called Wi-Fi Direct, where it has its own built-in hotspot that we can directly connect our Design Center to the printer. That is the recommended method of setting up the printer. However, you do have other choices as well. You can have the printer put on your school network and saved with a password. You can connect it via LAN cable. Again, those options are available in the Quick Start Guide and the User's Guide. But what I wanted to point out today is how to set the printer up in order to print Wi-Fi Direct to the Design Center software. So we're going to scroll up here till you see Wi-Fi Direct, and you can see we've already had that selected. We're going to make sure that that's turned on. That may be turned off when you first power up the computer, or the printer, excuse me. And we're going to scroll down, and we're going to want to note the Wi-Fi Direct password, because we're going to need that password to input onto our design center, and we'll show you that in a few moments. So jot that Wi-Fi password down or take a picture of it with your smartphone, and then we'll use that in a little bit. And the one thing that you're going to want to look for as well, or make note of, is the name of the printer. And you can see here it says Direct 35 HP DesignJet T850. That's what you're going to want to select on the printer, as well as on the Design Center when we go to set that up. We partner with HP to bring this technology to schools, so that is the name of this printer. It's also, again, the Perfecta Q36, but when you're connecting it, you'll look for that name. Again, you'll jot down that password, and then we're going to pause the video as we zoom out, and we'll show you how to connect it to your Design Center. Right, so we've already established the Wi-Fi Direct connection on the printer, and now we want to connect it to our Design Center. So how to do that is you're going to go to the lower taskbar of your Design Center, and you're going to look for the globe. What you'll want to do is click on that, and you're going to look for all of the Wi-Fi devices. As you see, I have a number of different printers here, but you want to make sure that printer name that we saw in the control panel of the printer matches the one I select. And so you'll select that printer name that matches, again, the one on the printer control panel. And when you click on it, that's where you'll have the opportunity to enter that password that you jotted down or took a picture of. So once you enter that password, it'll go ahead and it'll connect directly to the Design Center, and it'll tell you it's connected. So once that's connected, you will also go into Workroom Assistant, and this is where you'll find all kinds of different user documentations to help you with some of the features and some of the tutorials to use the products. There's also additional setup screens in which you can select which output devices that you use. So if you're on the home screen and you don't see your Perfecta Q36, here's where you would come, select output devices, and make sure you see VariQuest Perfecta Q series, and make sure that box is checked. You'll also, if you're investing in the VariQuest Design Center for the first time, when you power on your Design Center, it's going to take you through some welcome steps. And one of those is going to ask you for your school information, where you can enter your school name, you can upload a mascot file, and what that'll do is personalize some of the templates within the software to your building, to your school building. And then there's also where you can set up global name lists and review different settings there. So at this point, in order to, or the way to use the software is refer to the Design Center software video that's located on the VariQuest Design Center, or excuse me, the VariQuest Resource Center. That'll take you through how to use the software, where you can go and again find hundreds of educationally aligned templates, graphics. You can bring in your own PDFs or import your own PDFs. You can edit the content that we have within the software, or you can import your own and then easily send it to the printer. So again, there's a whole video on how to use the software. I encourage you to check that out. Again, the VariQuest Resource Center, go under Training, Design Center, and Software, and you'll see those video tutorials located there. All right, so that concludes the first part of the Perfecta Q36 training video. Please join us for part 2, where we're going to go over key features such as scan to print, printing from a USB, mobile printing. Again, some of the great features of the Perfecta Q36. As a reminder, If you go to our VariQuest Resource Center, and you can find that at resources.variquest.com, you'll find additional training materials, additional videos on the software, as I mentioned earlier. Again, that's resources.variquest.com. If you're having any trouble assembling your printer, initializing it, setting it up, or loading the paper or the inks, please feel free to reach out to the VariQuest Technical Support Team. That's 1-800-328-0585, option 3, and they'd be happy to assist you. Again, join us for part 2.